here many times. And the reason I came here is because not only I like the region, I think of course there is a lot of potential. Certainly, I think this wine and scenery perfect pairing is very correct. And therefore, I'm very happy to be here, and also just to encourage. I like to encourage and to also provide some advice, let's say, to the very creative initiatives that the university is taking, and of course we had the opportunity to discuss. I think it's a very good idea and practical, and obviously it gives the students the opportunity to not only to promote their region, but to learn and to become, like me, ambassadors. Not only wine ambassadors, but of course, in the regional context. I had the opportunity to talk to one of the Italian guests here who want to invest, and certainly I believe that Shumadia is one of the best areas, not only because of the history and because of the scenery and the landscape, but also because I think the team that Katarina and others are putting together is very promising. So again, I'm very happy to be here. Good luck with your project, and I will be very, very, very glad to work with you. Also, in order to promote synergies, I like this word, but also like Italy, Cyprus, Serbia, Shumadia, or some regions in Cyprus where we have good wine history, and therefore let me toast for the event, and cheers to everyone, and good luck for the event, and thanks for inviting.
Thank you, cheers.
Thanks for such a great work. Dear organizer, dear visitors, dear partners, dear friends. It's my great pleasure to be here with you today. And first of all, I want to thank organizer like Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Serbia for providing us such a great opportunity to be here today. And my great pleasure is just to continue this, let's say, event. Wine Vision is here because we have really great winery owners that had great vision, passion, and also they put a lot of effort to build such a magic story of Shumadia. And it's my great pleasure to be here with these great future leaders and talents from two students' organizations. One of them is Case Study Club from the Faculty of Organizational Science, and also TFutures from Topola. We have today Dragan, Miloš, Ljubica, Selena. We have Luka, Nikola, and Mina. They will present this great magic for you, and just give them, please, one applause, support, and encourage these great talents. Thank you so much.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the presentation of Shumadia Wine Region. My name is Luka, and together with my colleagues Mina, Nikola, Selena, Ljubica, Miloš, and Dragan, we will show you in the next 20 minutes one of the most beautiful regions in the Serbia that you cannot but fall in love with, Shumadia. Please enjoy.
New technologies and new kinds of work arrangements are radically changing the way we live, we work, and travel. COVID pandemic accelerated several macro trends such as hybrid work and nomad lifestyle, sustainable ecotourism, decentralization of economic activity, and work out of office. Being location independent means more freedom and possibilities to work and travel. Another major global trend is that holidays became shorter, more frequent, and more spread out over the year. So supply is continuously trying to adapt to this new demand. New destinations and new products are constantly trying to meet new and more demanding tastes of tourists. So this is giving a rise to thematic tourism. with food and wine, combined with other local and domestic products, are becoming popular as a main theme. So, a successful product brings together local cuisine, local customs, and of course, local wine.
Yes, the pandemic has most certainly accelerated the trends that we have seen. But more importantly, the key drivers are the people themselves, the tourists. So let's see how our modern day wine tourists look like. First of all, they are often described as educated with a lifelong desire to learn. But what does this mean? That means that they are seeking authentic opportunities that are paired with local wine, local food, music, and culture. But most of all, they want to come out of this experience with something else. They want the knowledge. They want to know how wine is connected with the winemaking and viticulture and how it all comes together during the history. Also important when we're talking about wine tourists is that they are valuing beautiful scenery and magical natural landscapes. But their values are obviously changing, and what this means that they are starting to value work-life balance more and more every day. And as Nicola has said, this is giving a rise to many different new trends, such as digital nomadism, work that is hybrid or remote, etc. And also, the newer generations are becoming more socially aware. They want to save our planet, they want to make sustainable choices, and they want to support local businesses and local communities. And this is why we think that Šumadija is a perfect destination for that.
So as Mina explained, the whole world has been disrupted, and tourism as well. But without changes, we wouldn't have opportunities for growth. And that is why the sole solution for relaxation, inspiration, and growth is right here, at the heart of Serbia, Šumadija. So to get to know Šumadija a bit better, let's go over geographical facts and place Šumadija on the map. So Šumadija is in the central part of Serbia and only an hour drive away from Belgrade, the capital city, and Kragujevac, the region's administrative center. Also, Šumadija consists out of 4 wine regions with more than 30 privately owned boutique wineries. Interesting fact about Šumadija is that it is placed on the same geographical parallel as Bordeaux, France, the most famous region in the world. Now, above everything, we need to mention that Šumadija is a place where everything begins. It is a place where tradition meets future. It is a place where unique wine meets unique cuisine. It is a place where you will fall in love and stay. So when visiting Šumadija and its wineries, it is a great way for relaxation, to rest and get away from urban life. In Šumadija you will experience a winemaking firsthand, but also Šumadija offers such a vast program with abundant cultural and historical landmarks that your stay could last for weeks or even a month. Also, interesting is that all of the wineries in Šumadija are only 50 kilometers from each other, and they're surrounded by forests. The whole Šumadija is covered on the forests. And what that means, it means that it is a sustainability center of Serbia as well. However, important part that we need to mention are people. People are the one making Šumadija so special. And when you're visiting Šumadija, please get to meet them, talk with them, and definitely you will have the greatest experience ever from the most lovable, honest, hardworking hosts. But as you remember, I told you that Šumadija is a place where everything begins. And in the heart of Šumadija there is a place called Topola. And back in 1931, King Alexander I Karađorđević built the first winery in Serbia, King's Winery. And it is still preserved until today. You can visit it and experience some of the amazing sorts of wine brought from all over to France, but also there are some local sorts, excellent local sorts as well. And from personal experience, I can tell you that it is a must-visit place to experience a royal culture and try some of the top quality wines. Now this is only the beginning of our story. You have learned about history and the heritage of the region, but just to give you a glimpse of the future and present success of Shumadia, I need to tell you that 21 wines from 9 wineries are represented at permanent exhibition at Worldwide Museum at Bordeaux. Now, my colleague Nicola will tell you what are the hidden gems here in Shumadia.
Arsenievich Winery. It was founded in 2013 in a small place close to Topola named Vincha. It is a family-run boutique winery, very proud of its vineyards. It's spread out over 12 hectares of the land, and it grows, as you can see, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Mustang Hamburg, and of course the domestic Prokupec. Matiashevich Winery is placed in the heart of the producing region of Shumadia. It's spread over 15 hectares of the land in Banja, close to Aranjelovac. It's one of the largest wineries in the region. It grows Smederevka, Prokupec, Sauvignon Blanc, Rosé, Pinot Blanc, Merlot, and Malbec. It produces over 55,000 of bottled wines a year, so it makes it one of the largest in the region.
No story about modern Serbian winemaking can begin without Aleksandrovic and Radovanovic cellars. The Aleksandrovic family has been making wine for over a century. With a deep-rooted connection to the culture, land, and history, it's located in the village of Vincha, near Topola, in the ancient and beautiful region of Oplanac. Mr. Božidar Aleksandrovic started production and bottling of wine in 1991, restoring a century old tradition of winemaking in his family. Today, he's an owner of amazing 85 hectares of land. Not many Serbian winemakers dare to produce wine from Pinot Noir. The one that dares is Aleksandrovic Winery, which created Triumph Noir 2008, 100% Pinot Noir. They also created the first sparkling wine in Serbia, known under the name of Šumadinac, that won gold medals in 2014 and 2015 at the Champagne and Sparkling Wine World Championship in London. According to expert opinion, this sparkling wine from Shumadia rivals acclaimed French champagnes.
Savić Winery. You want to feel home when you travel to Serbia? Well, you can find it here, in Savić Winery, which is cradled between two mountains, Vengeance and Oplanac, in the heart of Shumadia. With only 3 hectares, they conquered a gold medal in championship in Slovakia, which is the best white wine on that championship. This is not just a place where you can get a glass of good wine and see vineyards. It's a place full of memory, full of happiness, and full of joy, with a nice and good people who will accept you here. Can you imagine what they can do with 5 more hectares when they expand?
Every wine is a story in itself. So let me tell you a story about the name of the Zmajevac winery. The legend says that in the ancient times, dragons would come to the well at the bottom of the hill where the winery is located to rest before their new battles. This is exactly what Zmajevac winery is doing with their wines. They are preparing people for everyday battles. I'm guessing everyone here has heard of the arguably greatest tennis player of all time, Novak Djokovic. Djokovic family is known as the nature lovers and ambassadors of organic products and healthy life. In Topola, they started the winery with a simple goal: to create a local brand with a global footprint. Eden Winery is known both for its great wines and great design. With the symbol of an apple, a biblical symbol, they are trying to create paradise for everyone with their wines. Pirk Winery is a boutique winery and the newest entrant into Topola winemaking family. They are creating boutique wines from only the greatest grapes they can harvest each season. This is what everyday scenery looks like for people who live in Topola. Peak Koplanac is the largest winery in Serbia. They have over 700 acres of vineyards, and they were created in the post-World War II Yugoslavia. Today, they create exquisite wines for everyone. And to talk about winemaking in Serbia, without mentioning Radovanović Winery would simply be wrong. Mija Radovanović, one of the founding fathers of Serbian modern winery, gave new life to his grandfather's vineyards and winemaking shop back in the 1990s and created what is today one of the most awarded and recognized brands in wine in Serbia. And now, let's talk about some other wineries.
When Mr. Draganic was traveling through Tuscany, Italy, he realized that the same scenery is awaiting him here in Šumadija Topola. An amazing thing is, in 2017, he combined his knowledge in engineering and winemaking to create his own winery called Draganic Winery. But not everybody exists from just a few years. And as Šumadija presents the history here, we're having the Dalena Winery that is producing the wines over 100 years. Right now, we are having the 5th generation of winemakers in Šumadija. They don't have to meet any quotas. They are just producing the wines when the year is good from their own grapes. With that, we are moving to one of my favorite wineries called Blagojević. Why is that? Because they're producing rakia, and I try it, and it's amazing. With 8 acres of the land, half of it is spent on the fruits that are producing rakia, and half of it to the wines. And right now we are moving to something with a French name and French tradition. Believe me, in Šumadija, we are not only producing Serbian wines, we are also producing French wines with a French technique. With spanning across 16 acres of the land and carrying the name Chateau Prince, it's one of the newcomers in Šumadija. And with that, we are moving to the Despotica. Spanning over 20 acres of the land, having 3 vineyards over 2 wine-growing regions, is one of the biggest ones. But it's not just winemaking. They also own a hotel that you can book and enjoy the beautiful scenery that awaits you in Šumadija.
The last, but absolutely not the least, is the Tarpoš Winery. On the Tarpoš property, there is a newly redesigned restaurant which is placed just in the center of the vineyard, snuggled between the mountains of Bukulja and Venčac. But more importantly, the stars of the show are the 10-hectare vineyard as well as the wine cellar, which gently rises above like a wine chateau. The soil is rich with red clay, which is why the Merlot variety is the most prominent one in their portfolio. But the same magical recipe can be applied to 7 different wines of the following varieties: Sauvignon Blanc, Rhine Riesling, Chateau, Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, and the previously mentioned Merlot. They have participated and won several different international competitions, the most recent being the Decanter World Wine Awards in London, where they have submitted 5 wines and they won 5 medals. And this is only their first participation. So just to give a quick summary of all of the wines that are in Šumadija, more important, as you have heard, most of the wineries are critically acclaimed, which is why the Šumadija region is the only region that has a permanent exhibition at the Bordeaux Wine Museum. But more importantly, wines that come from Šumadija, they are authentic, they are sophisticated, terroir-driven, and in harmony with nature, infused with flowers, herbs, fruits, and berries. They are easy to remember, but very hard to forget.
Much of the Šumadija wine industry's present success is rooted in its incredible history. There's something about being surrounded by successful stories that make it easier to imagine future victories for your own venture. Whether you come to Šumadija to discover about the culture and the history, to feel the spirit of its people, or to learn about food and wine pairings, you will get to know its development as a modern hub. You will get the chance to experience opportunities in a modern and vibrant ecosystem of wine and business. Thank you.
We are students from K-Study Club and TFutures Club. And today we are here to invite you to try the best wines from Šumadija, the heart of Serbia and the center of the world.